Hello everyone. Today, I am sharing with you an experience that changed my life forever. It's a story that took me deep into the dark corners of the internet, into a place where few dare to go. This is not just a tale of horror, but a recounting of my journey into the abyss of the dark web. The internet has always fascinated me, with its endless corridors of information and connectivity. However, my curiosity led me beyond the surface web into the mysterious and sinister world of the dark web. It all began with a simple desire to explore the unknown, to see what lay hidden beneath the familiar websites and social media platforms. One late night, I found myself on a forum discussing the dark web. People shared stories, some horrifying, others intriguing. It piqued my interest, and I decided to dive in. Equipped with Tor browser and a VPN, I navigated through the labyrinth of the dark web, passing by marketplaces, forums, and even hidden services. My heart raced with every click, knowing that I was treading dangerous ground. During one of my sessions, I stumbled upon a hidden service that promised a unique experience, a live stream of an exclusive, underground show. The site was cryptic, with eerie graphics and unsettling music. Despite the red flags, I was hooked. The thrill of the unknown was too enticing. I clicked the link and was directed to a live chat room with hundreds of anonymous users. The screen flickered to life, revealing a dimly lit room. A masked figure appeared, shrouded in shadows, speaking in a distorted voice. The chat exploded with messages, everyone eagerly anticipating the show. I felt a chill run down my spine as the masked figure introduced the night's entertainment, a series of challenges that participants had to complete, each more grotesque than the last. As the show progressed, the challenges grew increasingly horrifying. Participants, chosen randomly from the chat, were forced to perform unspeakable acts. The masked figure seemed to take pleasure in their suffering, feeding off the fear and desperation that permeated the room. I wanted to close the browser, to escape the nightmare unfolding before me, but I was paralyzed, unable to look away. Suddenly, my username was called. Panic surged through me as the chat erupted in excitement. The masked figure addressed me directly, demanding that I complete the next challenge. My mind raced, trying to think of a way out, but before I could react, my webcam light flicked on. They were watching me. "Do it," the voice commanded, "or face the consequences." I knew I had no choice. The consequences were clear. Resistance meant exposure, or worse. I followed the instructions, feeling my sanity slip away with each passing moment. The tasks were designed to break me, to strip away my humanity. The chat watched in sick fascination, feeding off my terror. Days turned into weeks, and I became a prisoner of the dark web. The masked figure continued to torment me, pushing me to the brink of madness. My reality blurred, the lines between the virtual and the real world dissolving. Sleep became a distant memory, replaced by a constant state of dread. One night, the masked figure revealed their true intent. They were not just entertainers, but part of a cult that thrived on fear and chaos. Their ultimate goal was to recruit new members, to spread their influence beyond the dark web, and I was their latest target. They offered me a choice: to join them or perish. Desperation clouded my judgment, and I agreed, hoping for a way out. But the initiation was brutal, a series of rituals that left me scarred and broken. I was indoctrinated into their twisted world, forced to recruit others, to perpetuate the cycle of horror. Eventually, I found a way to escape, to sever my ties with the cult, but the experience left a permanent mark on my soul. The dark web had consumed me, and I would never be the same. Every shadow, every flicker of the screen reminded me of the nightmare I had lived. So, I share this story as a warning. Curiosity can lead to dark places, places where the light of day never reaches. The dark web is a realm of unspeakable horrors, and once you enter, you may never find your way back. Remember, some doors are meant to stay closed, and some secrets are better left undiscovered. The days following my escape were a blur of paranoia and fear. I had cut all ties with the dark web, destroyed my computer, and moved to a new city, hoping to leave the nightmare behind. But the shadows of my past haunted me, creeping into my dreams and turning every moment of peace into a waking terror. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. The cult's reach was vast and insidious. Every time I heard a knock at the door or a phone ring, my heart would race, expecting the worst. My only solace was the anonymity of a crowded city, blending into the sea of faces. One night, as I lay in bed, trying to quiet my racing thoughts, I received an email. The subject line was blank, and the sender's address was a random string of characters. Hesitant but unable to resist, I opened it. The email contained a single link. My blood ran cold as I recognized the URL was the same site where it all began. Panic set in. They had found me. I slammed my laptop shut and Saturday in the dark, heart pounding, mind racing. They wanted me back. The realization hit me like a freight train. There was no escaping the cult. They had their claws in me, and they weren't going to let go. I knew I had to fight back. I couldn't let them control my life any longer. Desperation fueled my determination. I spent days researching, trying to find a way to expose the cult. I contacted journalists, hackers, anyone who could help me bring them down. But no one believed me. The dark web was a myth, a boogeyman for the digital age. My cries for help fell on deaf ears. Frustrated and alone, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I reinstalled the Tor browser and delved back into the dark web, tracing my steps, seeking out the hidden forums and chatrooms where the cult members congregated. My goal was simple: gather evidence, expose them to the world, and finally free myself from their grasp. It was dangerous. Every click, every keystroke felt like a step deeper into quicksand, but I had no choice. I had to face my fear head on. After weeks of searching, I finally found what I was looking for: a hidden repository of videos, documents, and chat logs detailing the cult's activities. It was a goldmine of evidence, enough to bring them down. As I downloaded the files, a message popped up on my screen: "We see you." My heart skipped a beat. They knew I was there. In a panic, I disconnected from the internet and fled my apartment, taking my laptop with me. I needed to get the evidence to someone who could help before it was too late. I spent the next few days on the run, constantly looking over my shoulder, paranoid that the cult was closing in. Finally, I managed to meet with a journalist who agreed to help me. We sifted through the evidence together, piecing together the horrific truth of the cult's operations. The journalist promised to publish the story, to bring the dark web's horrors into the light. The expose made headlines. Law enforcement agencies worldwide launched investigations, cracking down on the cult's activities. Arrests were made, and the dark web site was taken down. For the first time in months, I felt a glimmer of hope. But the victory was bittersweet. The scars of my ordeal would never fully heal. The dark web had changed me, left an indelible mark on my soul. I knew that while I had escaped the cult, the shadows of the dark web would always linger at the edges of my mind. As I rebuilt my life, I found solace in sharing my story, hoping to warn others of the dangers lurking in the dark corners of the internet. Curiosity had led me down a dark path, but it was resilience that pulled me back into the light. And though the dark web remains, I take comfort in knowing that my experience, my story, might keep someone else from falling into its trap.